Hi guys, TinaGale here with another Freaky Fast Friday from the scrap room. And so these are the dimensions here that we got to start with. And I'm using the Flavors of the Month kit. So this is the Photoplay Paper Real Genius collection. And the first thing that I did was take my cardstock and I took it to the sewing machine and I just stitched around it haphazardly 2 times all the way around with some kind of blue-green thread that matched the paper line. And I just did that. I thought it'd be kind of fun to frame out the layout and just add a little bit more texture. So this layout, if you follow me, you know that I love, 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 love this challenge and have done it for the last few months now. And usually I cut them and I lay it down, and however I've laid them down the first time is the way that they stay. This one didn't quite work out that way. I had them cut, and you'll notice here that the paper bags are going the wrong direction here. And that's because originally I had thought when I cut the papers that they would go horizontally. And I will give you a little bit into my process. When I cut the papers, I really, up to this point, have never had an idea of what I wanted to do with them. I'm just cutting up papers. And so the things that I think about are, if there's a long narrow strip, that's usually the stripes that I try to pick out or something like that. And then kind of the in-between papers, like the music note paper that you see, that's kind of the in-between size. That one I'll try to do a tone-on-tone because I pretty much know it's going to go in between 2 other papers. And then the larger ones, if they're large, like the brown paper bag paper, something like that, I try to do those in the orientation that they would appear on the page. I'm thinking, like I said, on this one, I'm thinking, which it was really an eye-opening for me, that I normally always think horizontal. And I think that goes back to me being very linear and everything's just, you know, left to right, the way you read and all of that. But it just wasn't working on the page like I had in my head. And so it forced me to kind of change it up and do something different. But all that to say, those larger pieces, I usually try to figure out which way I'll probably go with the orientation, depending on how many photos I'm going to work with and all of that, and cut those larger prints out of the larger measurements. I hope all that made sense. But that's just a little bit of my thinking. And then the ones, if they're obviously like 3x4, 4x6, which I think a couple of these were close to that, then I'm thinking, oh, those are photo mats or they're going behind a photo. So I either, if I already know what photos that I'm going to work with, then I know whether I need something tone on tone or something that needs to be a good monotone background for the photos, you know, if the photos are really busy. This photo here is of my son at K-5 graduation. And I did leave the other people in there because they are people that I still know and we still kind of follow in today. I mean, we don't have daily contact with them, but I still know them. So I wanted to keep those people in there because it shows them, you know, way back in 90, this would have been 96. Yeah, so 1996. So that's a long time ago. So they look a little different now. So anyways, all that to say, I try to figure out on those photo mats whether they need to be, if they can be a little bit busier paper like this gear paper and the little kids, or if it needs to be more tone on tone. This one I felt like the main focus was them. It's a darker picture because it is quite older and it was in a dark building. So I felt like the gears would be okay. I really wanted to include these little kids somewhere. And I end up really covering the whole thing up. The title goes right over the top. And there was a little boy sticker that I was going to use. And about the time I stuck it on there, I got to noticing the hair on the little boy. And it's like he's got a shaved side of his head. And I just couldn't use it once I saw that. Well, number one, back in 96, I don't think anybody was walking around with shaved heads like they do now. So had to scratch that, so I went back to the drawing board on the sticker sheet and added some more stickers in that I was thinking of using. And it worked out well because then I saw these pencils and the apple and I decided I wanted a little bit more on the layout, so I added this little cluster at the bottom with the apple, the pencil, and the paper clip, and then the little pencil shavings. And then I got the other brown paper bag and the backpack for the other two embellishments. And then back to that background paper that was the brown paper bag. I could have flipped it over, but I really wanted the papers the way that they were here. And so I positioned the papers that were on the top over it, so you really couldn't tell what that was. It just looks like, you know, different colors of brown print, so it was no big deal. So I took the sticker sheet with the alphabets, I think that came with the add-on, and just did my title. So I just put K5 graduation, and that's going to be it. I'm going to add some journaling towards the back because it's going to be with the people's names and different things. And there's not a whole lot to tell. It's just, you know, K5 graduation. So that's pretty much going to finish this layout as far as all of the paper and pieces that I put in here and the stickers. Again, this one went really, really quick for me. I was just on a roll with these layouts. I did want just a little bit more, and so I took some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in the tea color, and I'm going to splatter that around, and I end up having almost a horrible, horrible accident with it, and I think I left it in here. But I was tapping it off, and I always leave that clear lid on there, and the lid popped off, which caused the nozzle to drop onto my layout. So it caused a little bit of a smear. It's not anything big. It's just a little smudge. But I was like, I'm done, and so I just close it up and, like, you know, no more splatters. I had enough. But I just tried to put them around just a little bit just to break up that white background and stuff. Well, it's off-white, but, you know, just all the white space in the layout. So that's going to finish it for me. I hope you enjoy this. Be sure to check over on the Scrap Room for the kits and more inspiration. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another process video. Bye-bye.